Okay, so there was a place we stopped. I want us to just quickly go through what we had, and then we'll get to that point. This is the topic we started with. Now, we talked about the difference between hearing and listening. You know, the importance of hearing. Hearing is simply sound going into one audio orifice. That's just what hearing is. And then listening, on the other hand, is way beyond hearing. And listening is giving attention. Hearing is just sound enters. Listening, you focus on it. You dig deep. You respond. You react. You do something about what you heard. Not just hearing it. You know. And we talked about the role of listening in sales. If you're selling, you have to be a good listener. Because when you're a good listener, that's when you can listen, you can pick up, you can understand what the person you're speaking with is saying. That's when you can key in, that's when you can do other things, go beyond just sound entering your ear. You know, remember I talked about a lot of people are eager to just download or vomit or you just want to load the person with your own information. You international market, frequently asked questions from the from the subscription form. You talk about companies and facilities in the vicinity. You want to just give the person information you know about the because you've gone to cram it, but you forget you're supposed to listen. So beyond that, we also talked about the types of listening. Can we remember the types? How many types of listening did I talk about last week? 4. Okay, let's name them. Pseudo listening. And what's pseudo listening about first? Good. Exactly. You're not focusing on whatever the person is saying. Sound is just entering. And it's not making any meaning or impact with you. The second one, appreciative listening. And what's that about? Somebody tell us. Use the microphone now. No, so that people can hear you. But you're not no, you have to say it. If you don't say it, then you will teach video. So you just say this one and leave my class from you, then I can handle it. All right, what do you do? Okay, let's see. Let me hold it for you. So I can hear you. Your voice not your voice. Go on. Don't worry about it. Don't pretend to be like it. Say it.
Like, when you understand the person is talking to you, you're paying attention to the person, you understand, because you're trying to put yourself in the person's shoes, so that you understand what the person is saying.
Some people are really shy of the microphone. You know guys say that? I'm sure she doesn't want to repeat it. So you don't want to repeat it. I just want to say something what we hear. Who will say something what we hear? No, I want someone else to tell us, because she's microphone shy. So let's allow her be. Let someone tell us, at least say it, to talk into the microphone, and then everyone will be here. Appreciative listening. I'm waiting for you guys. You tell me, we'll move on. Because if you guys don't tell me, we say, I know my own. If I don't know anything that they talk about, if I don't pick up, we will do there. You guys want to learn the rest of the things for today, you have to tell me, show me that you understand, or you heard me last week. Appreciative listening, anyone? I'm sure I know they use the information one that they gain from this class to do anything now. If you guys really put what you learn to practice, you don't have to repeat it in my words. Use your own words, but all I need is an understanding of what it is, and then they will, because these are adults. I don't expect you guys to cram. All right.
So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What I understand about last week's topic is we should try and listen to the client's problem, and we should, when meeting a client, we should try and listen to them and jot down what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's possible, it's even possible for us to find solution. We should not just conclude and say, okay, and be, how will I people put it, that we should be judging like, yes, we should appreciate the clients, and we should not be in a rush to claim rights. We should always find solution. That's what I.
Now, she gave us her understanding from last week's class, which is quite correct. Okay. Appreciative listening. Let me help us out. But the next one, I know will help us. It's just that you're listening and you're selecting what you want to hear. Do you understand? You're selecting what you want to hear. It's like when you're expecting money from somebody, and you happen to be in a conversation with that person. Maybe meet the person or something. As you're discussing with that person, the area you're waiting to hear is that part where the person said he will give you money, Abi. So that is appreciative listening, because if don't mention money for the discussion, you will understand anything. But I think you walk home. Do you understand? Because you have a certain thing you're listening for. So you're looking only to hear. Once you mention anything, money, bam, you don't tune channel home. Once you don't talk about that money, you're off. You're only waiting for that part you're interested in. That's the appreciative listening. Then the third one is what? Empathetic listening. So what is that one about? Someone tell us quickly. We have things to do today. We will not let us waste time on this. Okay. Good morning.
Okay, we talked about empathetic listening, and it happens to be us putting ourselves in the shoe of our prospect or our clients. That is trying to listen to their pains, what their concerns is, and then put yourself in their shoes. So that if you are the person in their shoes, what are you going to do? So in doing that, it's going to enable us to effectively prepare a solution that is related to their problems.
All right, thank you. Maybe you guys have heard that. And then the last one, comprehensive listening. What's that about? So who can tell us on that one? Who can talk about that one? Okay. Oh, okay.
Comprehensive listening has to do with understanding what your client is saying. When you're comprehensive enough in your listening, you should be able to differentiate main points from supporting points from jokes. So that when you're asked the question, you'll be able to give a befitting reply.
Okay, thank you very much. You wanted to add something to it? Okay. Basically, comprehensive is like combination of everything. Pseudo listening, the one that you only hear and you don't even listen, you're hearing. So comprehensive listening, you hear. It also encompasses appreciative listening. But the appreciation now is not just for certain parts. You are appreciating the entire conversation, and then the empathetic side too. You're also putting yourself in, the person's shoe, and then finally, you're doing all of those things at the same time. So that's pseudo listening. Then this is appreciative listening, and then empathetic listening and comprehensive listening. So for everyone who spoke today, you guys did very good. I'm happy that you all have a good understanding of what we did. But for those who don't talk, what I used to hang on ourselves score. This was where we stopped. We're about to get into the steps to active listening. And the first step for active listening is, can you guys say, what is this one? What's this first step? to actually listen. I know so that expect say the first step will be one thing, one magic something like that. Now lie, Angelo know they teach like that. The first step to active listening is you open your ear first, hear waiting the person they talk. Because you need to listen first before you can make sense or not make sense of whatever is being said. So you have to actually listen. A salesman must be able to lock in and pay attention to what a prospect is saying. If you're unable to do that, then you're already having a challenge. For you to be a salesperson, first off, lock in. Listen to that person speak. This is because the prospect will usually convey their inner thoughts, opinions, biases, leanings, and much more to a salesman who is an active listener. Do you understand what that means? It means that basically, if you listen, you pay attention to a client, you're going to understand. You know, I always say it in class. When you meet a client or a prospect for the very first time, that is the time they tell you everything they want to tell you. Sometimes before you even start presenting that particular property or whatever it is you have to sell to them, as you mention the area where that thing is, the person is telling, I don't like this area. Oh, beautiful area. What, you know, whether the person says something positive or negative, it tells you something about how that transaction is going to play out. The minute you say, Ibeduleki, you know, and the person says, that place there is Dangote refinery, man, but you go good to do business there, automatically in your head, you should think of commercial property that you may not have prepared for a commercial property, but immediately you hear that, just know this person may be interested in a commercial investment. I don't know if you guys get what I mean. In that first conversation, because the minute you mention it, Betuleki axis, Dangote refinery, free trade zone, companies are there. Already that's a plus sign for you. Or if you say, the person says, that's how with plenty of excision, you go, you know hard now, you go do mistake, go buy land with excision. Already, you know the thing you're going to have to explain well to him. See, the fact that someone has negative notion about a place or a product does not mean that the person will not buy you. It's even a bigger plus than if he likes it, because he's telling you his challenge with that area. But a lot of people, when they're selling, you don't pick up all these things. Note, is the person happy or sad? Does he express a liking? Does he express a dislike? Does he express a prejudice about something or whatever it is you're offering? Those are the things you should look out for. You see that first conversation? Now there a lot of things they happen. Now there you will know the transaction where it go easy to close and where we will have. That first transaction, and what will make a transaction hard to close if you don't listen well and not manage it well? Someone expresses, that side, if he makes mistake easily, excision too full for that area. But the challenge where a lot of us get, we say, first of all, we don't even know what the excision means. Do you understand? You don't even know what excision means. Because if you know what excision means, you know, because you know what it is, you will be in a position to begin to tell the person, excision, yes, the excision is there. But you see, there's a process to know what excision is, where it begins, where it ends. If you can explain excision to the person will take your word for it. And if it will be better if you can explain it and even Google something and say, let me show you something, sir. Let me show you something, man. Can you just read this small part? The person reads it and it falls in line with what you have said. You don't say the person, they see you as oracle. You know, you see that you're not buying that person over. The person has a tendency to believe what you said because you've not only said it, you've proven it. But it's not all the time you'll be looking for Google to do something. And if you are going to go to Google to get something to prove a point, don't go and get a lengthy meaning, just get definition. Because if you go get the lengthy one, the idea you did today, I know will go anywhere again. But just getting the definition, let the definition tie in with what you have said. Once the person knows that you know your onions, the chances are they will begin to listen more to you, except you commit another blunder along the way. So, force yourself to listen, even if you are not interested. I said this in last week, I mean. Force yourself. If you're not a good listener, if you know, say you get that problem, you can see. You see, sales. One thing about sales, nobody is born a salesman. This is that they just give people compliment. This person is a born salesman. Nobody is born a salesman. Even me, wey be parrot, they don't born me like this. When I only cry, I cry when they born me, and after they pinch me because they say I don't cry immediately. Do you understand? The only cry, I cry that time, don't be selling. And it took time. I've told you guys how I stumbled into sales, have I not? Now, what did they call for Yoruba language? Ojukogoro, long throat. Now I carry me enter sales. Don't be like say I want enter sales. So. But I got into it. Whether for whatever reason. And now, since I entered into it, I found out, because you see, some people, there's something about sales. You see, sales, other people, other people just wait till month end to collect salary. You as a salesman, especially those of us seated here, if you don't sell, you can't eat. If you don't sell, nothing for you. So if you know you're in this business, better like it to, you see, not only force yourself to listen, force yourself to like this profession. I don't know if I'm making sense to you guys. You want to proceed, and just like it is with school, primary school, secondary school, any subject where you don't like, you can't do well in it, you go fail out. It doesn't matter how many extramural classes you attend. If you don't like the subject or you don't like the teacher, nothing. Imagine person where you don't like talking to you, like women. You see, maybe you don't like Angelo, now Angelo come dey toast you. You go just dey vex. You go just, you understand, and the more they talk, you hear my voice, it will annoy you more because you don't like me. But if you love Angelo, the first I go come close, already, you're liking. The minute I start to talk, you're liking. Tell me how that relationship no go work. You go dey sweet now. Do you understand what I mean? So if you're in this profession, like this profession, sales, forget what they talk. Sales is not hard, only if you don't apply yourself to it. If you apply yourself to sales, you know how to. People where they win things, where they on top, they don't get too heavy. They don't get too heavy. Now people like me and you, and then they win. So nothing stops you from winning. And you can only win if you actually like what you do. Because now what you like, now you will take pride, come on time, do. If you don't like it, you're not going to fit. So actually listen, I don't talk from one thing to another thing. Now wow, this is my parrot. If we just continue the class, Jerry. Number 2 is what? We're not talking together now. Hey, that one hard again. I don't tell you that if I want to do well in sales. See, ginger yourself. You can. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. Those of us in this class were lucky because the fact that you enter here, you see other sales people, and then you're listening to me talk. It's a motivation that if you stay in your house, you will not get. That's a motivation you will not get if you stay in your house. Being here is a plus. I must tell you, it will ginger you to go on until the next Tuesday. But if you are by yourself, you don't get that ginger. So better ginger yourself. Remember, I don't talk that. If you don't like the profession, if you don't like what you do, if you're not enthusiastic about it, you can't succeed at it. Ginger yourself. You see this class, participate. That's way, by the time you do it, and at the end of the class, make friends with people. When they come here, some people, they come here alone, they go alone. Some people get only one friend since they begin come here, and I see that one friend and get in now. Meet people. I cannot force you to do that because it's to your own benefits. If you make people understand what they do and how they do, make friends, sharing ideas. Yes, you're competitors, but you are better off knowing, people around you. You will not be lost. Just knowing someone and chatting with the person once in a while can be a ginger on its own. Beyond the people you already know. Because, as I say all over now, everybody get in position and in click. But I know the ginger. More than well done. So, back to what we're doing today. True listening involves hearing plus interpreting. And it's what people automatically do anyway. Wait to tell I bet person don't like gossip for your main reason. Now I don't know the people who like gossip. And people with their hand up, I don't like gossip passing it. Let's see. When you hear gossip, the meeting they tell you about maybe that your neighbor. I know that girl. I know that woman. I know that man. And so I know say that waiting he go. You don't already interpret to. Nobody say that you see him. That's what people do. You see that you are broke behavior. Carry enter sales. And they tell them waiting they walk now and go and they teach and they talk and carry. You see that broke? Carry and enter sales. When you're discussing with your client, gossip with your clients. And you can only gossip with someone you have developed a kind of rapport with. If you feel gossip with your client, that means you have built a rapport with that client. Right or wrong? More move on to the next one. If a prospect tells you they find living in the city center loud, stuff is stressful and difficult to cope with the hustle and bustle, it means that they long for an environment that will give them serenity, peace, and quiet. This already tells you sort of environment to propose to them. Ekpe is one of such environments, and you should propose it to them. And once you do that proposal to them, you're on your way. Number 3. Oh yeah, nah. Hey, better happen nah. Yeah, because I don't say even the romanticism not supposed to catch tongue nah. Why are they do like this? They're not tired for you. They're not there and that be good. I don't talk plenty self. So you clarify by paraphrasing. Whenever a prospect talks about something important, clarify that thing by paraphrasing. Do we know what paraphrasing is? Good. So you say, let me be sure I understood you perfectly. You understand? Like when someone says something to you, you're trying to sell to them, and they say something to you about a particular, you've talked to them, let us say you talk to them about, a particular property. Which property are we going to talk about now? Acropolis is sold out. Imperial Enclave is still selling. Let's say you talk to them about Imperial Enclave. You've presented it to them, talked about the benefits, the features, and everything about it. And the person says, the person says, okay, I like it, this and that. But they haven't said anything definite. Let me tell you one of the things that kills salespeople. When you're talking to a client and the conversation is flowing, there's usually this tendency for you to assume that the client is already invested in what you're saying. I don't know if it has happened to you. You think they're invested. Then by the time, maybe after that discussion, you're very happy, you're energetic, you're feeling that this thing must be closed within 1 week. But the next time you now call the client, you will not say, no, I didn't tell you that I'm going to buy this week. In fact, I didn't tell you I'm going to buy at all. And you feel deflated. Has it happened to anyone here? Beautiful, sir. The rest of it, I don't know what they do, not be sales on it. If it never happened to you, you're not doing sales. Their experience is, look, you see this my class. I keep telling you guys, this class don't wear any shame. Look, wear my class, Angelo class, don't wear it. If you know you have a challenge with selling, bring the amount and go tackle them for you. But if you keep on with that, it's good. I save my saliva. Do you understand? Anything with your challenge here, bring them out. And I keep saying this every time. And I always say, and questions you ask me, you don't have to limit it to just the topic we treat. Any topic we know with your problem, try and come out. Are they here? If I don't even get the answer, no be class, no people fool. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean. No one person gets solutions and everything for this life. Not even me. Except say you be God. So if you get challenged, whenever it's time, you take class, like Angelo class, bring out that challenge. If Angelo don't know what to tell you, somebody in this class will know what to say. When you keep up, it help us. So, when you have talked to a person, you tell them everything and the conversation is flowing, and you're feeling that, oh, they've keyed into what you're saying, and suddenly you call them again. The discussion now don't change. It's something like, I never told you I was going to pay. Why are you asking me for money now? You've not convinced me. If it never happened to you, you're not a salesperson. Because if you are a salesperson, you would have gone through all kinds of situations with people. Transactions would have reached the point of payment, it will scatter. Sometimes the transaction, you think say the thing they move forward, you don't know say they only you the waka. Oh yeah. And the time you find out, it will shock you. In fact, you doubt what you know. You would doubt yourself. Did I really talk to this person? Have we been communicating? That's the way it is in sales. You see all sorts of situations. Some of them, you're trying to sell them, to sell property to them. Another thing they find, they want meeting for hotel room. Yes. Especially with females, even though they happen with guys, they don't do that to me well too. And as a salesperson, why I'm telling you this is you have to get used to the terrain. Get on. That's the program. Get with it. But that one go mean say you know will dress sexy again. And ask question. Does it mean you will not dress sexy? No, you still dress sexy because it's even a plus. Nowadays, now where they have men to, because they look you see the thing nowadays, men don't get time. Then ask you say no. We don't move, we will not get time. We will not get time, men don't get time again. You will shock you. Then you go see me again the next time. You expect me to continue from where I stopped. I will just ask you, how was your day? How is everything? Now I move on. Get with the program. That is why socializing and interacting amongst yourselves is good. Very good. That's life of a salesperson. For us men, somebody who they try to tell to, you will expect when you take them out. You want to have a meeting with her, she wants the meeting at ShopRite. You expect when you take them out. You're supposed to buy property for your hand though. Do you understand? And you have to be able to manage all these things. They're expecting different kinds of things. For women, there are expectations from them. For men, there's expectations from them. But all of them are expectations. But will you be distracted by any of these things? Should you be distracted? You shouldn't. So, but in the course of speaking to a prospect or a client, learn how to paraphrase. Whenever you're done at the end of the conversation with a prospect, always try, paraphrasing is simply to summarize all two of you have discussed. At the end of the conversation, you say to the person, excuse me, ma'am, I want to go over what we have agreed on today so that we are both on the same page. Okay, you like Imperial Enclave and you prefer Imperial Enclave to Acropolis. Am I correct, ma'am? You say yes. You like these features, maybe the 24 hours lights, the good road and drainage. Those are the things that attract you the most about the estate. The person will say yes. And if it is not, the person will correct you and tell you, no, not only this, it is the perimeter fencing or it is the smart homes that is attracting me the most. And as you're doing this, if you have a pen and paper, take notes. Do you understand? And then you're okay with the pricing. And I didn't ask you, ma'am, When should I expect your payment? When are you likely? Use the word likely, you see, because you know that the person pockets. When are you likely to make payment or a commitment to this particular property? Do you see the way you put it? If you say, when are you going to pay, some people feel say, wait here. But when you say, when are you likely, emphasize that likely. So that they know that, okay, there is a range. They can tell you, okay, by month end, I can pay now, or by month end, or in 3 months' time, you have an idea. And then when you ask them, how do you intend making payment? Do you want to do transfer and all those things? And how? Do you want a payment plan, or are you paying outright? You see these questions you're asking now, it's putting everything in clear perspective. By the time you're done with these small questions, you and that person are on the same page. But if you don't, you might be assuming that you have closed the client. The client now might have other assumptions in his or her mind. So paraphrasing will help you to know where you stand. In fact, not just, you see, it works very well because it assures prospects that they are being heard and understood. The person will say, yes, you understood me very well during this conversation. You got the right points. And even you too, your prospect will understand you very well. That you're a thorough professional and you know what you're doing. And because you've highlighted the steps and how they're going to go about it. So at the end of the day, everybody is in the same page, or is on the same page rather, not in. Everybody's on the same page. Then the number 4. Oh yeah.
Ask open-ended question.
Exactly. You need to ask open-ended question. Why? The opposite of open-ended questions is what? Good. Opposite of disappointment is what? That appointment. See, when I want to say I don't speak English, right? If the opposite of open-ended questions is closed-ended question, opposite of disappointment is supposed to be that appointment now. So I don't agree. Okay, no wahala. You guys are correct. That was just a joke. Don't be saying that one. Papers don't go right now for exam. Alright, so ask open-ended questions. You see, can you give me an example of a closed-ended question? I'd like examples of closed-ended questions. Somebody should ask a question that's closed-ended. This class, and I'm worried. Way too, I don't say that adults will be here. But even come.
Are you feeling better today?
What?
Are you feeling better today? Beautiful one. That's a closed-ended question. Why? What would be the answer to that question?
Yes.
Yes or no? Hey. Do you understand? It's either this or that. Somebody is very ill, and then they ask the person, are you feeling better today? If you're feeling worse, you say no. Then if your situation has improved from when that person saw you last, you say what?
Yes.
Wait, you know what? Let's say we will divide this our class. People will go night school like me, go come one side. People will go day school, go the other. So if I talk to these people their own language, I call you talk to the language for their own language. Sunday school self follow.
So we share content.
And they tell you, make we help ourselves now. Wait here. See, closed-ended questions are questions that the answer is either a yes or a no. Because there is no other option. Do you understand? There's no other option. Nothing like a little sharp. It's either you're feeling better than you were feeling before, or you are not. It's one or the other. True or false. Yes or no. That's the answer. Those ones are open and closed-ended questions. Just you understand, these are close-ended. Then the other thing you can have, open-ended questions on the other hand. So I'd like an example of an open-ended question. How are you feeling now? I don't know, do you guys understand? What would be the answer to that? An explanation. The answer is various. You can say, I am not feeling so good though. Or I am feeling better than I was before. Or hey, today I even feel play ball. Who be you say both self where are they? I go run master. Because you're feeling, there's really no, the answer can be anything. That's the kind of question you need to ask your prospects. Open-ended questions. Why? Because when you ask them open-ended questions, it gives them opportunity to describe how they feel about what you have shown to them. And in that their description, you will know whether what you presented to them is valid or is useful to them or not. I don't know if you guys understand me. Open-ended questions. That's what it is. Close-ended questions. Yes or no answer is only what they want. So, you can open the door to deeper communication. You see that? Deeper. Something very deep, be deep well. Yes, please.
So like now I had the conversation. And then when I asked the customer, now that we have gone through what do you think? Or what is your take?
Exactly. What you feel about it, what you think about it, what's your take? Does it resonate with you? Tell me, how does it make you feel? Do you like it? All those things. Ask the questions that, basically, there are questions that will, open-ended questions are questions, probing questions that encourages the responder to speak more than a simple yes or no. A yes or no can be, they can say, yeah, I like it. They can say, no, I don't like it. Oh, I like it, but for this. Okay, it would have been perfect for me if not for this particular feature that is absent. Or, can I have it, but without this? Do you understand? Are we together? Yeah. That is it. They can tell you. That's all. Bad benchers. Like me for secondary school, that thing we do. So that we pay attention when teacher asks questions. As other people they answer, don't hear what they talk. Now what you they do for me for here. More will continue. So I know, more will continue. So now, you see, you open door to deeper communication by asking questions that encourage interpretations such as this. Tell me what you make of what I just said. Do you understand? By asking that question, there's a tendency for the person now to respond to you by telling you the things they like about that thing you said, or the things they don't like about it. Or you ask them, how did that affect your thinking? For instance, someone has said to you, I don't like Ekpe. You can't get a documented land, in Ekpe. Do you know that's the perception out there? And why is that perception there? Because most land in Ekpe don't have CFO. What people, a lot of people, due to their ignorance about land, they believe that only a land that has CFO or governor's consent is what they should be buying. And you can't blame them. That's the mind view out there. So if they tell you, you talk about it, but they say, it behoves on you now to explain to them. Then when you explain, you can ask them something like this. When you explain and you show them, that you can also get land in Ekpe without CFO and without governor's consent, and it is still valid. And when you do that, you can now ask them, after you've explained, and you probably see them nodding or something, or even if they don't nod, ask them, with the information I've just shared with you, sir, has it changed your thinking? How did it affect your thinking? Is your reasoning about land in Ekpe still the same now as it was before I gave you explanation? And the person will tell you. And if you have made an impact with the person, you know you can continue. But if the person is not convinced, you have to be clear. You see that mindset? If you don't change it, nothing you say about the land will make sense. Absolutely nothing, because he still believes you're just talking. I don't go ask him anything again, but if I ask him now, I will do no. Number 5. Oh yeah?
Validate what your prospect said.
Exactly. In fact, I don't feel avoid that. What does it mean to validate? Sir? To renew. Confirm. Concur. Agree. To reinforce. All the things, to renew, all of them is just like you're validating it, that yes. Do you understand? So it's imperative to receive a client's input with enthusiasm and due respect, even when the input is uninvited or far off the mark. For instance, now you're talking with, maybe you're speaking with a prospect, and you're telling the prospect that, since Ambode came to power, Ekpe has changed. And he says to you, no, it wasn't Ambode that changed it. He says it was Sir Michael Otedola that changed it. He will now tell you that I know Sir Michael Otedola's, I say Michael, is it? Yeah, it's Michael Otedola. I know Sir Michael Otedola's house in Ekpe. He's an indigene of Ekpe, so he changed Ekpe. What would you say to the client? You agree with him? But we all know it was Ambode who did it. You see, the major change in Ekpe came from Ambode. Beginning with, you see that road, I tell you, that man has written his name in history permanently. And guess what? He didn't just do Ekpe, he did. All around Lagos, you see Ajah Bridge. First time I've seen a government project commence and end under 6 months, from the groundbreaking till the commissioning. 6 months. And it's not just with Ajah Bridge. He did so many bridges around Lagos. And before him, Fashola did wonders. And he never continued since then, for me. But some other people might have continued. But what I'm talking about is, these are developments that have helped the real estate industry, which we are selling, to grow. I don't know if you guys can understand where my own assessment is coming from. These are people who did things, because Fashola put laws that helped. It was Fashola, do you know, how many people know that it was under Fashola that Dangote acquired land to Lekki? And also, I don't know. Many people here, you know. With good.
I know, because the time Dangote actually went there to take a position, to take the land, to own the land, there was a problem. So they had to go back and call Fashola to come. He actually came with him to that place. The first 17 families who were affected from that place, he had to.
And you need to say this with a microphone, because this is a piece of history. So you need to know these things. They help you in sales to
Actually,
tomorrow.
the first 17 villages that were sold to Dangote, the money was not given to the indigenous as a whole, it was given to the Baales, and the Baales ate them up.
Which is
so when Dangote came that day to take possession of his land, the villagers threw out and said they will not leave. So they had to go back and call Fashola. He came and he persuaded Senator Ahmed Tinubu to come, and so they came. Ambode was there too. So they then reallocated those people to far down inside, close to Ijebu, and then gave them land.
A lot of the access.
Yes, they gave them land, and then Dangote was able to take, and they repaid them. Dangote paid twice for that 17 villages, because he had those young boys, even your son, which is 4 years old, had to get 450,000 naira. And imagine what the balance have eaten. So, in fact, Ambode did a lot in Lagos State because he insisted that Fashola should come and Baba should come, so that that thing will be settled once and for all. And that is how it was settled.
Thank you very much, sir. Can you people just give a round of applause? You understand? You know, it's past activity. Something happened in the past. But do you know that if you're with a client that you're having issues explaining things to, and you know a bit of history, and don't make up history. Yes, because if you tell people rubbish and they go back and find out what you have said is trash, everything you have said to them, they will call it trash. Do you understand? Pay attention. You know that some of us don't know. Sometimes when you go on social media, not only they look for the person, the latest fashion, dress with the flower for the shoulder, scarf wey be say if you sit down, people wey dey your back no fit see you like say dem go hear am. If dem no hear am from me today, when I go event start. Look out sometimes for all this information. These things are there, and they bring, of course, this part of information he gave, you won't find it written in print media. It's only, you know, of course, sometimes these stories are passed from person to person. But you have to wait and know how you give it to people. Do you understand? These things help. When you know a bit of history of an area, it's easier for you to sell it. And when I even said, oh, they go them to a lot of way, I said, somebody would, yes, a lot of way, now that access from a lot of way, they go. Because all those villages have their name. There's even the Ayeteju relocation scheme. In fact, they have, you know, as with government, there's Ayeteju is what I mean, not Ayegbeju. You know, sorry, slip this my tongue, maybe one day I will slap her. So, you know, the way the thing goes, that's how you move things. You have to know some of these things. It helps you. It helps you to be a well-grounded salesperson. If some, you know, like maybe you're going for inspection with your client and you point an area, then go to a refinery, you're able to give them a piece of information like this. You know, you're winning them over. You're able to tell them that Eleganza building that's there, that factory, that seems like nothing is happening there, but it has a little activity. If you know how it was happening, the story around it, you know, these are just little tidbits you can use to wow your clients. It mustn't be that. You're passing Pan-African University. You're able to tell them a little bit about it. Who owns Pan-African University? He is not the owner. People think he is. Pan-African University. Can you tell us a little about that story? And let her get a mic, please. Okay, you don't know? Okay, since you don't know, I thought you... Okay, Mr. Price is going to tell us, give him to tell us a little bit about it. I hope you guys understand. This is not part of what I should be teaching you, but that they give on a fast meeting as opposed to give on an hour.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
It is an offshoot of Lagos Business School.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Owned by the missionary aspect, angle called Opus Dei.
Thank you very much. Now you see the connection. Go on, sir.
That originated from Spain.
Beautiful. The person who founded Opus Dei is a reverend father, Catholic priest.
Saint Jose Maria
Escrivia.
Balenga.
Reverend Father Jose Maria Escrivia. He started Opus Dei. It's a Catholic mission that give help and assist people. Through them, somehow, alongside other organizations, started Lagos Business School. Lagos Business School was so successful and doing so well that they decided, okay, let's not, just like the name, Lagos Business is for business people. You only do courses on it. And from there, hello, okay, we don't need information. Make I go next one. Good. So from there, they now acquired that land, started Pan African University, where they're going to have university courses, full-fledged courses. Just like people going to exactly. You know, they're affiliates of a lot of things, but Patu Tomi is the director of that institution, Lagos Business School. He's a director. And incidentally, the man himself na teacher. So a lot of times he's the one coming out to speak. So he is a director, not the owner. And he's one of the people promoting it, that they help them to come in here. You know, there are people who they call promoters in the business world. They are not the owners of the business, but they are the people who facilitate that business. MTN came to Nigeria. Who is one of the major promoters? MTN, one of the major promoters. Obasanjo then was a sitting president, so he couldn't come out. But there's somebody else. Edoze, you know, Pascal Edoze. ShopRite came to Nigeria. Who is the major promoter? You can name any company in this that's in Nigeria, a major well-known company that's coming to Nigeria. There is always a promoter here that's helped them. In fact, there are some people, if you see, I don't they come up from normal sales now, they teach our business. I'm not even pay for this class. I bet man leave and man go back to the team. When I go pay me, I go teach now, pass the one and the left. So let's come back to where we are. I mean, make I know the digress. I mean, we're not good to the digress now. When I say good man, they digress. Okay, but let's come back here first. Let's come back here first. So, like I was saying, note that no appropriate response starts with the word no. When you're reinforcing what you're learning or what you heard from your prospect, we've done 1 hour already. I set a reminder so that when we do 1 hour, I will do. So I have to wrap up quickly. But they don't want me to do 1 hour. Now all the digressing one on a like mind the custom. So applaud the prospects for their efforts. If somebody tells you something that is not entirely correct about the place, don't tell them no. Do you understand? Don't tell them no. When you tell them no, you're deflating their ego. And person where you deflate ego, you know if you succeed, sell to a move. Agree with the person, but let me even add to that information you have brought. And then by saying let me add, you now give them the correct version without emphasizing on the part where they gave you the wrong version. So you basically put them in the right track. And then by the time you're done, inside their head, they will use their hand to correct the wrong impression when they get. I don't know if you guys understand me now.
Yes.
That's the way to go about. Don't ever embarrass your client by telling them, this your information is wrong. If you tell yourself, say, who will I use now? Dangote Cement, Dangote Refinery, now the first refinery for Africa. I agree. Even though we know it's not the first. Well, you can give him another piece of information that's correct. It's the biggest refinery in Africa. You don't say, in addition to what you said, sir, it's the biggest refinery in Africa. It was started in the year, what year? 2015, the idea came up even before then. Because the idea came up way before then. And initially it was built to cost $18 billion. Initial one. Then he now, sorry? Initial one. If you're looking at, you see there's, you know why I know that information? And it wasn't that, he was meant to do only, I want to expand on what you said. He wanted to do only refinery. But along the line, it now came out that, what would you do with all the byproducts? That was when petrochemicals was added. That was when fertilizer was added. It now came out to that. You understand? You see that his information is right. Plus, but he's not wrong, mind you, because only the refinery part of it. Yes, that was the initial, but although that's not, all these our figures we are saying now are not what finished over time, inflation, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
You are very correct, sir. And currently, if we Google now, right away, it's going to 200 billion.
That's information. Okay. Now, when you applaud their effort, you mold and redirect the input towards the idea that may be better suited for the desired outcome. You see, when you're in conversation with your prospect, allow them to speak as much as they want, but you are the one driving the conversation. And how to drive the conversation? You prompt, you throw things in, you chip in words. You chip in words, and those words will now make them go in a certain direction that you want. So that's how you direct it. In conclusion, a good salesman must, as a matter of necessity, in order to convince your prospects or your clients to buy, you must let the prospect talk more. Why do you think that is so? Anyone? Yes, sir. Okay. Why should you allow your prospect to talk more than you?
We are to talk less because we do not want to praise our opinion on the prospect. We want them to come out with what is in their mind, their opinion, so that we can work on that their opinion.
Beautiful.
If they go wrong, we can redirect them politely, but we will not want to talk too much as if we are praising. It will show that we are just hustlers. If we talk too much, we want to say hustlers.
Amen.
We want to talk. In marketing, we talk and they talk and we listen, we converse. We don't impress it on them that they must accept us.
If they say, make I give the result just now, it will have this. And they tell you, very comprehensive, explanation about why you should let your prospect talk. So all those of now, where they talk past the prospect. See, it's not really, let me tell you something. You might want to present something to your prospect. They don't know about it and you're presenting it to them for the first time. You don't have to say everything. If the prospect already knows some of what you want to say, begin from where their knowledge ends about your product. Don't keep repeating what they already know. It means that you've crammed. Do you understand? But if you know your onions and he says he already knows he's in Ekpe, he already knows, the land is 500 square meters, tell him the remaining things he doesn't know. Then on the next one, you listen with intent to understand. That's the whole purpose of today's class. You listen with intent to understand. Then the next one, you focus on the conversation and the people. Focus on that conversation. Be there, be present, force yourself to listen. Still goes down to forcing yourself to listen. You want to succeed in sales, you have to force yourself to listen. Again, you avoid temptation to interrupt. Not when the person tells you, say this damn hotel refinery, not being built up, you refurbish and you say, no, sir, don't say like that. You say, so how can you be saying that? You don't know whether I carry one side chick, come the explanation, come the paraza for side chick from. You don't go say, you don't go buy anything for you again. Do you understand? Or rather, he has this impression that he already knows everything. Don't deflate his or her ego. Don't ever do it. But however, when they are done, you politely and gently just drop the right information there. If they like, let them pick it up. If they like, let them not pick it up. Because after all, I land you won't sell. Abi? But you drop the right information. But if they have any misconception about what you are selling, you need to give them the correct impression though. Know that one. If it's general knowledge information, current affairs, then you fit drop the information. If they like, they pick it up. If they like, they don't. But if it comes to your product and they have the wrong impression, if you don't correct it, then they leave, that impression will be magnified. And your product will be like a bad product. Maybe they say, you guys are scammers. Let him know, with evidence, that what you're selling is real and valid. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
You need to let him know. Yes.
To you how you guys are scammers.
Very
When you
important.
ask that question, how do you feel?
Very important. If someone comes and says to you, all salespeople are scammers, she's very correct. What you should be responding is, have you had a bad experience? Or is there a particular incident or more than one that made you believe that we are all scammers? Could you let me know so that I can respond to that, sir or ma? You understand? Then you allow the person to explain to you what your colleague in sales has probably done to them. That puts that in their head that real estate salespeople are scammers. If at the end of the day, it might be just that the person did not follow them to a location. Is the pain point. It can be that the person presented the thing as dry land. We got there, it was swamp or marshy ground. Do you understand? It could be anything. So you need to give them room to even explain to you that, okay, this is what I have gone through to make me conclude that salespeople are scammers. Some people will even tell you, in fact, after lawyers and salespeople, they help. So, like somebody I saw on social media, say somebody is trying to sell a fridge without door to him and telling him, say, don't worry, use cotton. You understand? That's what it be. Imagine, even if you can tell the person the beautiful thing about God, about cutting, you don't have to open, don't worry, don't be cutting, shift and take her. Now when you reach out, go plug and call you, God, you're like, how this cutting won't take work for this fridge? Do you understand? That's sensible work with that. Maybe now waiting they not do it. Now waiting they not do it. I talked here last week, I said, if people, is it, I passed by Oshodi yesterday, I saw Molwe. Molwe is no longer yellow and with black stripe. It's white with, I think, blue line across. I look at what time was against me, but if I had time, I'm not getting any business. I think it was going to like Ayobo or those areas. Some go axis. I'm not getting anything to do there, but if to say I get time, that yesterday, I could just enter Molwe to go Shongo, come back. I miss Molwe. At the time, I use grow up, and I don't know. I will just enter, reach Shongo, enter another one again, come back, just for the Molo experience. I miss it. I don't know. Hey, when I know first, so I be local picking, I say, I miss Molo. But when we come back, I miss many things. So, man, my God. Not even the mainland, except to go to all those Shongo axis now. Yeah, you're right. Those are the areas where they run now. Only place you can find Molo. Hi. Oh.
We are bringing it here.
It come with me like when they give me one Molo as souvenir. I just take this. Okay, so repeat and paraphrase. And I don't even notice I don't above for the grammar. Repeat and paraphrase. So repeat and paraphrase what you heard. Whatever the prospect says to you in the course of discussion, when the discussion is winding down, you need to paraphrase. And what is it? Does it mean to paraphrase? You summarize everything you guys have been talking about. If you summarize it, let me get you right, ma'am. Let me get you right, sir. You prefer this land to this land. You like it because of this. You're okay with the price being XYZ, and therefore you're going to consider making payment within this time frame. So with all this, am I correct, ma'am? Am I correct, sir? The person will tell you, yes, spot on. You have the right information about what I have in mind. Or he will correct you and anyone that is not exactly what he has in mind. That way, two of you are on the same page, including when he's going to make payments, so that when you come to ask for the payment, he won't be surprised that you're asking for payment. And then lastly, clarify your understanding with relevant follow-up question. If there's any point he says, this is not what I mean, yes, okay, tell me more about it, sir. I'm sorry I missed it when you said it the first time. Do you understand? Because you've got all the other ones correct, he won't be upset that you didn't get that one, because there was a long conversation before then. So just let him know. I'm sorry I didn't pick this when you said it. Could you tell me more about it so that I'm on the same page with you? And the person will proceed to explain more about that particular point. And once he explains more about that point, both of you are on the same page. Then not only you will come again. So when you follow up now, you're all working together and making progress together. Thank you very much, people. Questions, comments?